Welcome back to TheChowTimePod. It's your host, Rick. Got a video today from the wall. Modern women are in crisis. More and more men are going their own way. Please like and subscribe down below. I really appreciate that. Let's get that challenge. Ciao, ciao.
Formal announcement that I am no longer on the market. It is not because I'm taken by any stretch of the imagination, but it's because I no longer want to be dealing with the men out here. Because the conditions are horrific. They're catastrophic. They are cruel. They are treacherous. They are preposterous. If I had a bigger vocabulary, I could go on and on.
I have a shitty vocabulary. You guys comment about it all the time. It's okay. I'm a common person. Fuck it. I'm not sophisticated in any way. I have a very small vocabulary. It's okay. Shit still works.
I mean, fuck.
I do enjoy The Wall's intro. His is one of the best.
Welcome to The Wall. In today's video, we will see different cases of modern women. Some crying because they are single and can't find men. Others because men can't guess what they want or how they feel. We want to invite you to smash that like button and help us reach 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year to get our first plaque. That's the only support we ask from you, man. Add your grain of sand to the movement. Leave us your experience in the comments for any man who needs it. And without further introduction, let's get started.
I'm so done with guys.
And why would that be?
So he asked me what's wrong, and I said, I'm fine. You wanna know what he said?
I would be willing to bet I already know the answer to that question, as most likely does everyone else.
He said, okay, good.
Who here is surprised that he said that?
Nope.
What do you mean, okay, good? What part of I'm fine means that I'm fine? What's wrong with these people?
Please take the following into consideration. 99 times out of 100, if a guy is told by a woman that she's doing fine, he's going to believe her. Or else he's going to assume that she doesn't want.
Why would we think anything else? Just logically. And without us, going into womenese and knowing women nature and everything. Logically, when you tell us something, why would we automatically assume the opposite? That wouldn't make sense.
Want to talk about it, since she said she was doing fine. Why press the issue? Guys tend to take things at face value. If you wanted him to ask about how you were feeling, or argue with you that you're not doing fine, just be honest. Tell him you're not doing well. Don't play games. Don't expect him to be a mind reader. Just tell him what you're actually feeling. It's not really that hard to figure out.
It really isn't. It's the same shit you ask men to do. Why don't you ladies do it too?
It's funny because it's true.
On top of that, she's talking through messages, and apparently, he has to read her mind through the phone to understand that she's not okay. They are immature girls, because how hard is it to say, I'm going through this, or can you help me? I'm not okay?
Yeah.
That's why after they break up, you hear them say, we didn't have good communication. But how are we going to have good communication if every time the man asks you what's wrong, you answer nothing? Here we don't guess, and you're not the only one with problems. So grow up and speak clearly.
What kind of world do we live in where a normal, regular girl cannot find just a regular guy out here to date?
Because you're not looking for a regular guy to date. You lying.
Now, I don't want to kick somebody when they're down, because I don't know this girl. I don't know the guy that she's talking about. For all we know, this guy was a terrible person. But what I will say is that she goes on this rant about how a normal, regular girl cannot find somebody to date. And with that statement, I gotta say, I highly, highly disagree.
Agreed.
We could sit here and argue all day whose lives are harder, male, female, we don't know. There's really no way to prove it. The different obstacles a male has to go through compared to a female, they're just so different that
I actually agree with this gentleman. It's hard to tell which is more difficult. Like, we're talking about difficulty. Like, if we're talking about sheer, hard, laborious shit, I think men. But just the difficulty of life. Yes, women have things easy, but women also can get taken advantage of very easily. They can also get pregnant. The flaws of being a woman are pretty high in a sense too, but the flaws of men are pretty high. But they're different flaws. They're different strengths. life is just made differently for us. I don't when every time we compare, oh, men's life is harder, women's life is harder. No, they're just different. They're just so different from each other. I actually do still lean towards men's lives are slightly still harder, but if you ask most men, we would never want to be women. Why? Because we know the difficulties that women face also, right? Most men, I'm assuming, even me, I would always be choose to be born again as a man. Because I can't see myself being a woman and going through those types of issues.
We're never going to be able to come to an agreement on which one has a harder life. What I will say is I'm almost certain that for an average guy, dating for an average guy is way, way harder than for an average girl.
Yep.
I see it and I hear it all the time where a girl will chase an emotionally unavailable man or an obviously immature man and then blame the rest of the dating pool because they pick the worst type of dudes to pursue. The reality is there's plenty of men who would be happy, more than happy, to have an average girl, like 100%.
Okay. I'm going to tell a story. I was at the cafe the other day, and at the cafe, I guess apparently one of the girls got, like, the guy was a little aggressive on her. Like pushed up on her and everything, and she was just like, no, I don't do that, or whatever it is. She was distraught afterwards, saying that, men are just horrible pigs and this and that. And it's like, girl, you work in an industry of the most unsavory types, and then you're dealing with the most unsavory types of men. So of course they're going to do very unsavory things. I'm sorry to say that. But for you to blanket all men from the industry you work in and from what you do in particular and the places that you frequent, most men aren't doing that. Most men aren't there. Most men aren't that kind of predator. But women love to blank slate it when they've experienced any type of thing from a man. Even if it's from any type of man, they always seem to correlate, well, just men are just like this.
You are this emotionally exhausted after a breakup with a guy, and then you start blaming all guys, and no guy wants this, then trust me, I don't even know how to describe to you what the dating pool is like for men right now.
Yeah.
People in general start to do so much stuff that they forget who the average person is. Like, I'll show you who the average guy is. The average guy makes about $36,000 to $50,000 a year, depends on your age, and he's approximately 5'9".
I'm a below average in that sense.
I know there is a handful of women that would say they are more than happy to be with a guy like that. But we've all seen these videos of girls going on long rants about how they want a guy who makes this much, is this tall. Like, they have a lot of requirements. I'm not saying they're wrong for having this type of criteria for dating. If you want to be with a guy who's 6 foot or 6'3" and you want to be with a guy who makes $1 million a year, have at it. I support you and I hope you find this individual. All I'm saying is if you are this hysterical at dating for being an average woman, oh my God, you'd want to jump off a cliff if you saw what's out there for the average guy.
True.
Because an average woman can easily get an average guy. If not, she could probably even get an above average guy because the supply and demand in the dating market right now is 100% in favor of women. Mm-hmm. As an average guy, you got to step up your game a little bit because it's not as easy to get somebody who's literally on the same level as you. Because the dating market right now has gone so crazy and so out of whack that as a guy, yeah, it's going to be difficult to literally get somebody who's technically equal to you. I wish you the best of luck in all your dating experiences and just thank God that you're not a guy because you would need some serious therapy with what's out there for us.
Like I say, guys, we talk about like, oh, would you ever, want to be born a woman because you see all the advantages that women have? No, I don't give a fuck about their advantages. I'd rather be a man.
Is it true that modern women can't find a partner? Or is it that they don't like the men who approach them? They want the 666 of the apocalypse. A man who is 6 feet tall, makes more than $6,000 a month, and has a physical appearance of at least a 6. The 666. But 90% of women want that too. There are more women than men, so it's a tough situation. Besides, men don't trust modern women. They don't want to get married.
We do not.
And they have their reasons. Many have gone through this. You'll see in the next video.
I caught her talking to other men, and she won't get out of my car. Now she's crying. So I caught her talking to other dudes. Oh, wow, that must be sad. God,
I remember
must be
seeing this clip the
terrible.
other day.
Oh,
Get out of
man.
the car.
What were their names again? I love how you said they were just your friends and you were sending them ass pictures. Get the fuck out of my car.
This is a perfect example of why when she says that these dudes are just her friend, she is full of shit. Let me
Always.
tell you what she means when she says he's just a friend. It means 1, he's the backup plan if something happens. Number 2, it means that they have already hooked up and she's keeping him again on the back burner so her body count doesn't go up if the relationship ends. The other thing that it can mean is that she basically chose you as her second choice. So if that dude becomes available, she's gonna dump your ass. And lastly, what it also means is that they haven't hooked up yet. He still wants to hook up. She's kind of interested in it because she's not really interested in you and you're basically just a placeholder. Stop letting these women tell you that these men are just friends. There is literally no such thing. And for every single person that comes in my comments saying, oh, it's insecurity, it's insecurity. No, not with Snapchat nowadays, not with all these hidden messages that you can hide on Facebook. You need to be cautious, be aware, stop being naive, and not let these women play you. And lastly, let's just remember that she's only crying because she got caught.
Yes.
Not only is that abusive and manipulative, but what it does is it turns the good men bad. So congratulations on making yet another good man turn bad, where women have no accountability for their actions
Drizzle.
this. But what it also does is it ruins it for the rest of the women that are out here actually crying and getting their feelings hurt because men can't decipher the difference between being manipulated and real tears. Okay, bye.
No, nowadays men are starting to realize the tears thing. We just automatically assume it's fake. At least, hopefully, you guys on my channel that watch me, they're fake. Majority of the time. 99.999999999 times.
Beer to this woman. She said it all. She doesn't cry because she's afraid of losing you. She cries because you caught her.
Yep.
Modern women like having a partner while talking to others, keeping their options open. Why do you think there was a famous meme that said, crying for him while dressing up to see the other one? It's because they always have a guy waiting for when they leave you. This woman is right. This damages a man's trust and ruins the relationship for any future woman because he'll always have that fear it might happen again. You know what's worse? They try to make you look like the culprit because they don't even want to take responsibility for their actions. So don't fall for their crocodile tears.
Okay, so I went on a date last night and let me tell you how it went. So this guy seemed pretty okay. He ticked all the boxes from our conversation online. He's an entrepreneur. He seemed like he knew what he was doing. He was similar age to me. And he booked this really nice Italian restaurant.
Olive Garden?
I got there in time. He was 10 minutes late, and when he got there, he was completely flustered. He was shaking, he was sweating, and he did not look anything like his profile pictures. He looked gaunt, really pale, like he hadn't eaten for weeks. And when I asked him if he was okay, he said he was fine. He was just been working 80 hours a week. I wasn't sure he was on drugs, but I was like trying to stay cool. I was like, look, maybe I'll learn something from this. You just never know. I wasn't going to leave the date because he did seem like an interesting person anyway. So, and I don't like to be rude. We were talking and he was saying that he's got an 8-year-old son that he hardly sees because he has issues with the mum. Apparently they met each other on Tinder and they slept together. It was a one-night stand and she fell pregnant. Whatever, not my problem. So then I asked him when his last relationship was, and he said last year. And he was like, if you really want to know, she is a high-class escort, and that's how we met. And she was planning to stop being a high-class escort. But
This man. Stop it. Whoever the fuck you are. You need to fucking do better.
she was constantly having to take drugs in the morning to wake up and drugs to go to bed at night. And
Wait, you have to take drugs to wake up? What the fuck?
just had a toxic relationship. So I was like, okay, right. So, you know, I landed up going into the therapy mode. I was like, look, it's, you know, it's okay. You can make changes in your life. I started recommending different modalities. That's typical me. And I ended up sending him all these links to therapists.
That's so funny.
And, you know, I did end up feeling disheartened because I was thinking to myself, oh my God, if this is the caliber of men out there at this age, it's very concerning. And it's very sad.
And the thing is, like, what caliber do you think you are, girl? This is the problem that women always seem to have. They see the caliber of men, they want a certain caliber of men, but what caliber are you?
But, you know, I guess this is dating life in this day and age. Hopefully it gets better from here.
I'll be totally honest. If a woman tells me all this that guy said, I'll pay the bill and leave, never calling her again.
True.
Her life is a disaster and would only bring chaos to mine. Men, stop going to dates as if it's some type of therapy. As Kevin Samuel said, you don't have to tell a woman your entire life story. Stop selling yourself that Disney narrative that if she sees the worst of you, she'll fall in love. That doesn't happen. No one wants to take on a problem. Besides, why would you tell all your problems to a stranger? Look how she spills everything on the internet.
Yep.
Stop trusting strangers with your life information. Remember, a mysterious and confident man is very attractive to any woman.
Yep.
A man who constantly complains and cries only shows that he's effeminate and can't solve problems. That's not masculine polarity.
Man, there's literally only one thing that women want you to understand, and it's this.
Oh, just one thing? And what is that one thing?
You doing something because we've asked you to do it is not the same thing as just doing the thing.
Do explain, because I think there's going to be a lot of people that are confused by this.
So if you're the kind of guy that says to your wife or girlfriend, hey babe, yeah, just like whatever you need me to do, I'll do it. Like whatever cleaning you need help with, just like tell me what to do. I get where you're going with that. I know what you think it's doing.
Okay, so they're asking for basic communication of that person's wants and needs. What's wrong with that?
But it's not doing the thing that you think it's doing.
Oh, do tell us. What is it doing?
Because that means your partner is still in charge of the mental load
Shut
of figuring out what needs to be done in the house.
Yet another example of some women who just want men to...
We just don't want to do the job and then get yelled at for doing the job wrong. We know that's going to happen. So we rather get instructions to not get yelled at later. It's just logic.
To miraculously know what exactly they want done without actually them articulating it into words that are easily understood.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
It is.
It's things like this that make me realize women are not good at leading because they expect men to do things without knowing exactly what to do. Men are very self-directed. If you tell them to do something, they will do it. How hard is it to make a task list or tell your husband, this is what I want you to do? I bet men would do it week after week without complaining because they know what their job is.
If it's a nice, simple, take out the trash on Mondays, fucking make sure the laundry's ready this day, all this stuff. Help me sweep this day. I don't see very many men complaining about that. Yeah, we would love to help you guys out. It's our house too, right?
It's just about having simple and clear communication. But no, she wants the man to guess. And after he guesses, you know what happens? They complain because you didn't do it the way she wants it done or fixed. They don't even understand themselves. No wonder the Bible doesn't lie when it says, the wise woman builds her house. The foolish one tears it down with her own hands.
Women love to say they're better communicators than us, but they expect men to read their minds. Men don't expect women to read our minds. Who's the better communicator now? Please explain them below. I really appreciate that. I'll catch you guys next time. So.